HOU 11 starts right now with a breaking news alert.
I'm Jacob Rascone live in Kerrville, where we are seeing searchers, volunteers, law enforcement right now beginning day 5 of the searching. Steph and Devon, I know you're live in Houston.
Yeah, the death toll from the 4th of July flood has risen to at least 104 statewide.
And this death toll, which is expected to grow even more, has now surpassed the total deaths that we saw here in Houston during Hurricane Harvey, with 84 deaths confirmed in Kerr County alone. And this comes as the search continues for dozens of people who are still missing this morning. That includes 10 campers and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic. Counselors there say they didn't realize this storm would be different.
I thought it was just lightning and thunderstorm. I had no idea the severity. I mean, I was awake throughout the night because it was loud and the cabins were shaking, but we've had thunderstorms and lightning at Camp Mystic multiple times, and it's always been okay, and so I always thought it was going to be okay.
That's one of the counselors, Caroline. And she also said that when counselors get to the camp, they turn in their phones unless they're in their off time. So even if alerts were sent out, they never would have seen them. And of course, we know that flooding got really bad when those little girls were in their bunk beds.
Some of them sleeping, yeah, so tragic. And Jacob, you are in Kerr County right now. You've been there for the last few days. Have you seen crews out working this morning?
In fact, just as we opened the show at 8 o'clock, they started. So over here, over my shoulder, you're seeing a couple of vehicles. A lot of these are volunteers. Most of them, though, are from agencies across the state, including right here in this area. So 7:30, they did their staging area briefing. There are 4 staging areas throughout the county, I'm told. One of them is just beyond the field where we were this morning. And they meet and they map out their day, and then at 8 o'clock, so right now, they begin. They have the entire area divided into 30 plus divisions or zones, and they're each assigned a zone, and they spend a number of time there, and then they kind of rotate. And so just before we came on, we saw Task Force 1, game warden, we saw fire officials all going past with their ATVs, their trucks, and other things. So the search is underway, and after the show, we're going to go try to catch up with some of those searchers. Behind me, this is one of the areas where a bunch of businesses were impacted. So the water came up here. You know, the river is down 30 feet or so, came all the way up to here, and then flooded just over my other shoulder. These businesses, which have been here for many decades, have never been flooded. With more on the economic impact to these businesses and business owners, Amanda Henderson is joining us live now, I believe still down in the Hunt area. Amanda, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, we are at Hunt. In fact, right behind me is the Hunt store, and you can just see the damage. I mean, Jacob, I've covered an EF3 tornado. This has more damage. It's just stunning to see. And this is one example of businesses that have been greatly impacted by the floodwaters. But our friends over at the Boat Oyster Bar and Grill, they told us that it was important for them to be able to open with the damage that they had because they wanted to give people a place to recharge. Take a listen. Repairs are underway at the Boat. The Oyster Bar and Grill sits right on the banks of the Guadalupe River.
We've seen helicopters fly very low through here. We've had cops come out on our deck just looking for people, seeing if they can help with absolutely anything. So
I'm sure that's tough, though.
it is, like, just trying to serve people, and like you're in the middle of a conversation and then you just hear the helicopter, and like your heart gets really heavy because you know what they're looking for.
She says on Friday, the deadly hill country flash floods caused the river to rise up to the restaurant's deck, a good 20 feet off the ground.
It was over the deck, and then it kind of like washed behind me into our parking lot.
When the waters receded, a combination of trees, branches, mud, and random items were left behind, something that has left fellow employee Ella Pearl speechless.
It was definitely crazy coming into work, seeing all the debris that had come up from the storm.
Each item tells the tale of the devastation in the early hours of Friday morning, a reality Madison Collins says hits close to home.
Our neighbor heard the screaming from across the river.
Guadalupe River is Colin's backyard. She says they were within 10 feet of it impacting their family home.
The stairs down to the river were gone. You couldn't see anything.
Now all 3 women are here, back at the river, to serve their community by keeping a local staple open and running, giving people a place to recharge as they repair.
It doesn't matter who you are or anything. If you need help, we'll help you.
And I think that's the big theme, Jacob, is Texans helping Texans. That's what we've heard so many times. But even yesterday, we actually saw a fire truck from New Mexico, states over. So there are so many people who are willing to help, wanting to help, here to help, continuing to help. That's what we've seen. I know you and I saw that yesterday when we were going around Kerrville, the Kerr County area. I know that's what we're going to continue to see out here as well. But it doesn't matter where you go. It breaks your heart every time you see it because it is tough to talk about, especially when you think about the loss of life. Of course, secondary to that is the rebuild, but it's the pain and the impact is evident. Jacob, it really is.
Well said, Amanda, and the help that you're talking about that makes it a little easier to think about all of it, to watch the heroic efforts, the service efforts. That includes even us going around to restaurants and them offering us free food and offering all first responders free meals, that kind of thing that of course nobody has to do. Behind me is one of the homes that was knocked off of its foundation. Yesterday we saw people trying to salvage anything that could be saved, including, this just pile of pans that they're going to carry off, probably be back out here later today. So you can see the desperate need here. And Ugochi Aloka's live over back in Houston talking about how we can show up and help and meet that need. Ugochi.
Hey, Jacob, and it's so important right now more than ever, if you think about it. Now, we are live here at the University of St. Thomas, where for those of you watching at home, in just about 1 hour, you can make your way here and bring some of the items they really, really need to this spot specifically. That's the Veterans Success Center. Here's a live look of the area between 9 to 3 p.m. here on campus today. Now, that drive is lasting until this Thursday, so you do have time, but of course they need it now more than later. So if you can, stop by. The University of St. Thomas really needs non-perishable food items, bottled water, gently used clothes and shoes to fill up several trailers to send to Notre Dame Catholic Church in Kerrville. Then you have florists like Glorious Creations in Houston making free memorial flower arrangements for the families who've lost loved ones. On top of that, several local school districts like Alvin and Humble ISD, along with Typhoon, Texas, and the Salvation Army are collecting goods. Glorious Creations also says now more than 17 florists from across Texas join in to help, and here's how she's coordinating it all.
We have a Google sheet of all the florists who have agreed to help out, and so once we're able to connect families, I'm going to connect the florist with the family, whichever city that they're closest to, and then I'll put them in contact with each other.
Yeah, a team effort for sure right there. Now, Glorious Creations, the owner you just heard from there, also mentioned that several local businesses have already started pitching in to help pay for flowers and materials for some of those arrangements. So really another example, Steph and Devon, of this community really stepping up for others. You know, we have been there before. Yep. They remember, and here they are now really returning the favor to be there for others. One other thing I wanted to mention is we do have a full list of supplies as well as other drop-off sites in the Houston area in that article on our website, KHOU.com, for people to check out.
All right, good information, Ugochi, and lots of ways for the public to help. Thank you. We'll see you again in a little bit. Appreciate it. And we are making it easy for you to help. KHOU 11 is teaming up with our sister stations from across Texas to raise money for the Tegna Texas Flood Relief Fund. You can scan the QR code on your screen to make a tax-deductible donation. All of the money will go directly to local nonprofits in the areas that were hit the worst from flooding. You can donate